You're listening to the Bare Metal Cyber Prepcast, created to help you succeed in your Security Plus certification journey. Learn more at baremetalcyber.com, where additional prepcasts, books, and training materials await. Let's get started. Modern firewalls have evolved far beyond their original purpose of simple packet filtering. Instead of only allowing or denying traffic based on source, destination, and port, contemporary firewalls incorporate application awareness, identity context, and even content inspection. They can recognize which applications are generating traffic, regardless of the port being used, and enforce policies accordingly. They can integrate with identity systems to apply rules based on the role of a user instead of just the IP address of a device. Many also inspect content itself, scanning for malware or data leakage. Hardened organizations leverage these advanced capabilities to move firewalls from basic choke points to sophisticated guardians of network activity. Application layer, or Layer 7. Policies illustrate why port-based rules are no longer sufficient for modern threats. Attackers and legitimate applications alike frequently tunnel communications over common ports such as HTTPS, making simple port blocking ineffective. A Layer 7 firewall can identify whether encrypted traffic belongs to a business application like Office 365 or to a risky, unauthorized file-sharing service. This visibility allows for more nuanced control, enabling critical applications while blocking shadow IT or malicious tunneling. Hardened organizations rely on L7 policies to apply granular, application-specific enforcement, recognizing that effective security must look beyond ports and protocols. User and role-based policies expand firewall enforcement by integrating with identity systems such as LDAP, Active Directory, or single sign-on providers. Instead of applying the same rule to all traffic from a subnet, policies can differ based on who is logged in and their role within the organization. For example, finance staff may require access to online banking services, while developers may need cloud repositories. By linking firewall rules to identities, organizations ensure that security follows the user rather than the device, enhancing precision and accountability. Hardened environments treat identity-based control as essential for enforcing least privilege. SSL/TLS inspection provides deeper visibility into encrypted traffic, which now accounts for the majority of network flows. By decrypting, inspecting, and then re-encrypting traffic, firewalls can scan for malware, block access to malicious domains, and enforce data loss prevention policies. However, this practice carries privacy and legal trade-offs, especially when dealing with sensitive communications like healthcare or financial transactions. Hardened organizations implement SSL/TLS inspection selectively, applying it where visibility is critical while respecting privacy regulations. Policies and governance must guide its use, ensuring transparency and compliance alongside improved security. URL categorization and content reputation services enhance contextual decision-making. Firewalls can consult databases that classify websites into categories like business, social media, or gambling, and block or allow them based on organizational policies. Reputation services add dynamic scoring, flagging domains associated with phishing or malware campaigns. Instead of writing static rules for each site, administrators can rely on these services to enforce broader policies. Hardened organizations integrate categorization and reputation to simplify management and ensure rules reflect the constantly changing risk landscape of the Internet. Dynamic, feed-driven blocking offers flexibility compared to static rule sets. Threat intelligence feeds deliver updated lists of malicious IPs, domains, and URLs, which firewalls can ingest automatically. This enables near real-time adaptation to evolving threats, reducing reliance on administrators to update rules manually. Static rules still have value for predictable long-term policies, but they cannot keep pace with adversaries who shift infrastructure rapidly. Hardened environments adopt a hybrid approach, maintaining baseline static controls while layering dynamic, threat intel-driven enforcement to stay agile. Segmentation enforcement and micro-perimeters are also core firewall functions. Instead of relying solely on a single network perimeter, organizations use firewalls internally to segment sensitive systems, such as databases or payment systems, from general user traffic. Micro-perimeters extend this concept, isolating workloads in hybrid and cloud environments. By controlling east-west traffic as rigorously as north-south flows, firewalls limit lateral movement by attackers. Hardened organizations design segmentation policies to align with business functions, containing breaches, and ensuring that compromise in one area does not cascade into others. Performance considerations become critical when enabling deep inspection features like SSL, TLS decryption, or intrusion prevention. These capabilities are resource-intensive, potentially introducing latency or reducing throughput. Organizations must size firewalls appropriately, balancing feature sets with hardware capacity. Overloaded devices create bottlenecks and undermine user experience. Hardened programs evaluate performance trade-offs carefully, often reserving advanced inspection for critical segments while allowing simpler enforcement in low-risk areas. This ensures inspection provides security benefits without crippling productivity. Fail-open versus fail-closed behavior is a key design decision for inspection components. In fail-open mode, traffic continues if the firewall fails or inspection cannot be completed, prioritizing availability but potentially exposing systems. Fail-closed blocks traffic by default, prioritizing security but risking service disruption. The right choice depends on business tolerance for downtime versus risk exposure. Hardened organizations make these decisions deliberately, guided by governance policies and system criticality, rather than leaving behavior to default settings. Logging and alerting are indispensable features of modern firewalls. Every denied flow should be recorded, providing forensic visibility into attempted intrusions or policy violations. Logs also support tuning, highlighting rules that generate excessive false positives or fail to catch meaningful activity. Alerting ensures administrators are notified promptly about critical events, such as repeated access attempts to restricted zones. Hardened programs integrate firewall logs with CEMs, ensuring contextual analysis and correlation with endpoint and identity signals. Visibility through logging transforms firewalls into investigative as well as enforcement tools. Firewall policy lifecycle management ensures rules remain effective and sustainable. The lifecycle includes designing new rules, testing them for accuracy and impact, deploying them into production, reviewing them periodically for relevance, and retiring obsolete entries. Without lifecycle management, firewalls become cluttered with outdated or redundant rules, reducing performance and creating blind spots. Hardened organizations schedule regular policy reviews and establish governance processes for approving changes. This discipline ensures that firewalls remain efficient, relevant, and aligned with current security and business needs. Ultimately, evolving firewall capabilities must always be balanced with governance, privacy, and performance considerations. Advanced features deliver powerful protections, but without disciplined processes, they risk creating complexity, legal exposure, or bottlenecks. Hardened organizations deploy features strategically, ensuring capabilities align with business priorities, regulatory requirements, and system performance limits. Firewalls remain central to network defense, but their true value comes from thoughtful configuration and governance, not simply feature checklists. Properly managed, they anchor defense and depth strategies across diverse environments. For more cyber-related content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are other prepcasts on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. Integrating firewalls with cloud-native controls is essential as organizations adopt hybrid and multi-cloud architectures. Cloud providers offer their own primitives for network segmentation and traffic inspection, but these features must align with existing firewall policies. Multi-cloud policy orchestration ensures consistency across providers, preventing security gaps when workloads shift between environments. Hardened organizations adopt centralized management platforms that translate policies into native configurations for each cloud, ensuring firewall rules remain unified regardless of infrastructure. This integration maintains visibility and enforcement across traditional data centers and cloud deployments alike. Automation has become indispensable for firewall rule management. Policy as code approaches treat firewall rules like software, version-controlled, and reviewed before deployment. Automated change approvals reduce bottlenecks while maintaining oversight, and drift detection highlights when deployed rules deviate from intended baselines. These practices make firewalls more agile and resilient, allowing teams to adapt quickly to business changes without creating chaos. Hardened organizations embrace automation to tame the complexity of large rule sets, ensuring accuracy, traceability, and alignment with governance requirements. Web application firewalls, WAFs, extend protection to the application layer where many modern attacks occur. Positioned at gateways, WAFs defend against threats like SQL injection, cross-site scripting, and malicious bots. They complement network firewalls by understanding HTTPS traffic in detail, inspecting requests and responses for anomalous patterns. Integration with broader firewall strategies ensures that applications are protected consistently, whether hosted on-premises or in the cloud. Hardened organizations deploy WAFs as a specialized layer of defense, ensuring application logic receives the same scrutiny as network flows. Threat intelligence integration strengthens firewall capabilities by automating the blocking of malicious IPs, domains, and URLs. Firewalls ingest feeds of indicators of compromise (IOCs), dynamically updating their policies without manual intervention. This ensures defenses adapt to emerging campaigns in near real time. Hardened organizations validate feeds to minimize false positives and prioritize those most relevant to their sector. By pairing static baseline rules with dynamic intelligence, they maintain agility without sacrificing reliability, keeping pace with adversaries who constantly rotate infrastructure. Sandbox detonation integration allows firewalls to handle unknown attachments or web content more intelligently. Suspicious files or payloads can be diverted to sandbox environments, where they are executed and analyzed for malicious behavior. Based on results, firewalls can block or allow traffic with higher confidence. This reduces reliance on signature-based detection alone, catching zero-day or polymorphic threats. Hardened organizations integrate sandboxing with firewall policies to balance performance with accuracy, ensuring unknowns are resolved without exposing users to unnecessary risk. Application Layer Quality of Service (QoS) introduces traffic management into firewall policies. By prioritizing critical services during congestion, firewalls can ensure that business-essential applications remain available even under stress. For example, video streaming may be throttled while collaboration or ERP systems receive guaranteed bandwidth. This function aligns security enforcement with operational performance, ensuring firewalls not only block malicious traffic but also safeguard productivity. Hardened organizations treat QoS as part of resilience planning, embedding it into firewall policies to protect mission-critical workloads. Centralized logging and aggregation transform firewall events into valuable context for detection and investigation. Firewalls produce a wealth of data-permitted flows, blocked connections, inspection results that becomes far more meaningful when enriched in SIEM platforms. Centralized logging enables correlation with endpoint and identity data, surfacing multifaceted attack patterns. Hardened organizations route firewall telemetry into SIEMs as a default practice, ensuring every enforcement decision contributes to a unified defense picture. Testing and simulation tools help validate firewall rule changes before rollout. Simulation engines model proposed changes against historical traffic, revealing whether critical applications would be inadvertently blocked or new rules conflict with existing ones. Hardened organizations rely on this testing to prevent outages and maintain trust between security and operations teams. By validating changes in advance, they ensure agility does not compromise stability, striking a balance between responsiveness and reliability. Regular rule reviews are necessary to prevent firewalls from becoming bloated and unmanageable. Over time, temporary rules accumulate, business changes render policies obsolete, and complexity grows. Periodic reviews identify redundant or outdated entries, simplifying rule sets and improving performance. Hardened organizations institutionalize these reviews, aligning them with governance cycles to ensure firewalls remain effective, efficient, and transparent. Complexity is the enemy of security. Pruning rules reduces blind spots and misconfigurations. Multi-tenancy and role separation become critical in large organizations or managed security contexts. Firewalls must support different administrative domains, ensuring that changes by one team do not inadvertently affect another. Role-based access controls define who can create, modify, or approve rules. Hardened organizations adopt strict separation of duties models, aligning firewall management with organizational structures. This ensures both flexibility and accountability, preventing errors and misuse in complex environments. Monitoring rule effectiveness ensures firewalls deliver the intended outcomes. Logs should be reviewed to see how often rules are triggered, whether they produce false blocks, or if they are never used at all. Ineffective rules add noise and complexity without providing security value. Hardened organizations use these insights to tune policies, reinforcing useful rules while retiring those that no longer matter. This continual tuning process keeps firewalls sharp and aligned with evolving threats and business needs. Ultimately, enhanced firewall capabilities multiply defense in depth when deployed thoughtfully. Automation reduces human error, telemetry enriches investigations, and disciplined governance ensures rules remain accurate and relevant. Firewalls are no longer simple barriers at the network edge. They are dynamic, policy-driven systems integrated into broader monitoring and response ecosystems. Hardened organizations harness these capabilities not as isolated features, but as part of a coherent, automated, and well-governed strategy, turning firewalls into powerful engines of resilience. Thanks for tuning in to the Bare Metal Cyber Prepcast, your trusted source for cybersecurity news and insights. Remember to subscribe at baremetalcyber.com so you never miss an update. And visit cyberauthor.me for best-selling cybersecurity books that equip you with expert knowledge. Until next time, stay secure and stay vigilant.